he's going to be looking for the highest bidder, number one, and an opportunity to go somewhere where he's not looking over his shoulder and he's the surefire starter. Boogie, if Sam Darnold was to go, hypothetically, back to Minnesota and sign a contract and struggle, J.J. McCarthy would be coming into the game. Yeah. And he may end up being somewhere else anyway. So I think his focus and his agent's focus needs to be on putting him in a place where not only can he maximize his dollars, but also be the number one guy no matter what, even in some struggles, having the ability to work through those and feel like it's his franchise and his organization. He won't feel that in Minnesota.
Yeah, so it's definitely an interesting question in terms of Sam Darnold and, where he should go, what are the options, because there's so much up in the air right now. And again, we talk about he talks about Sam Darnold talking about he should get the most money that he wants, but listen, Sam Darnold has been around, right? Like he's been to multiple teams now, and he knows what's important. He knows, the place you go, the team you go to, who's around you, the coaching staff, he knows without a shadow of a doubt just how important that is. So I'm not under the impression that Sam Darnold is just going to go to the highest bidder, no matter what that means. But there's so many interesting options out there because, the Raiders just hired Chip Kelly as their OC, and now you have, along with Sean, with Pete Carroll as the head coach. Who knows what the Cleveland Browns are going to do? It might seem obvious that they're going to draft a quarterback, but maybe in order to keep Myles Garrett, they're like, hey, we're going to get a quarterback who can win now. We're going to go out and get Sam Darnold. I mean, honestly, it's who knows? The Indianapolis Colts could be like, man, we can't win with AR. Shane Steichen's like, dude, did you see what Kevin O'Connell did with Sam Darnold? I'm better than KOC. I went to a Super Bowl. My offense, I led my offense to 30 plus points against the Kansas City Chiefs. I made Jalen Hurts into an MVP candidate. Give me a quarterback who can play, and I will make magic. I mean, who really knows? The Pittsburgh Steelers need a quarterback. It's out there. So I just wonder. I don't know exactly what the situation will be in terms of what the market officially looks like with Sam Darnold. And I wouldn't say that even if he just signs with the Minnesota Vikings that it's automatically looking over his shoulder. It could very much be like Kevin O'Connell being like, hey, we got some unfinished business. You are our starting quarterback, even through some struggles. We are not playing J.J. McCarthy this season. We are shutting him down for another season. You are our quarterback, okay? No looking over your shoulder. And again, who knows? It could be kind of like a Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers type thing. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers was way more established with the Super Bowl, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you don't know. You don't know what the actual conversations are that are being had. You don't know what Kevin O'Connell wants. And it's becoming very clear that Kevin O'Connell is starting to have a significant more amount of power within the Minnesota Vikings franchise. So for all you know, he's really banging the desk, banging the table to be like, keep Sam Darnold. I can win now. I don't have time. Listen, I will develop J.J. McCarthy, but I don't have time for that right now. We have a win now roster. We were right there. A few things got out of our hands at the end of the season, but I don't have time to play games with a rookie quarterback. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe he saw what Jaden Daniels did and said, all right, I'm excited to start this new journey with a new quarterback. You just don't know. You really, really don't know. We can speculate, we can guess, we can say all this type of stuff, but the reality is we just don't know what conversations are being had right now. So it's fascinating to see. I think it's cool for the Minnesota Vikings to have these options, and that is where I really would leave it up to Kevin O'Connell, because I'm looking at it more right now and thinking through the lens of can you win today? The Lions most likely will take a step back. Who knows about the Packers? Are you confident that the Packers are going to take a step forward? No. And then the Bears. The Bears, I think, will take a step forward, but it's not like they're going to take a step forward to being a Super Bowl contender automatically next year. They're going to have some of their growing pains. So this division alone is still right there, which then makes just the playoff, the NFC in general, right there. How many teams are taking gigantic steps forward? Like not many. The Cowboys aren't, the Giants aren't. You can go down the list of all these teams. So I think the NFC is still right there. And I get the whole idea because people are like, no, you got to take advantage of the cheap contract on JJ McCarthy. And I'm not saying not to do that. But sometimes, depending on how the roster is built, especially considering the various ages and levels of prime and veterans that you have on a specific team, you might be like, yeah, that's all well and good, but like JJ's just maybe not ready yet, or again, whatever the story is. That's why I kept kind of saying this in any of my JJ McCarthy takes is like, it's got to really be up to Kevin O'Connell more than anything. Like he's got to be the one to look at this team, see what the potential of the team is, reach a conclusion of what the potential of the team is, regardless of the quarterback, and then figure out what is the best quarterback for that situation. If you honestly look at this team and say, you know what, I think this team could be pretty good, but I don't see us as Super Bowl contenders, then yeah, maybe you move on from Sam Darnold and you bring in JJ McCarthy. But if you're kind of like, you know what, man, like we really, really can win. We really, really are right there. And it just doesn't pay to kind of go through some rookie quarterback growing pains because I know what I can do with Sam Darnold. And quite frankly, with some continuity, I think Sam Darnold's going to be even better. Give me a whole nother offseason with him and now a whole nother season to work magic with him. Like Sam Darnold, what we saw last season was not his peak. It was just another step forward, and we're going to take another step forward this season. That's another real possibility. So there's no real easy answer, as much as people want it to be, but then that's why it also comes down to what does Sam Darnold want? It's hard to imagine that he will sign a short-term contract, especially if long-term contracts are available for him. And I don't know if the Vikings are going to offer him like a 4-year, $40 million a year contract or, something like that, or 3 years or something, again, maybe similar to that of a Baker Mayfield contract. But, I don't know. Maybe if he's given multiple options where it's kind of like, hey, I could go back to the Vikings and I know I'll be in a really good situation, but also the Raiders are offering me an interesting offer as well, and then I won't have to look over my shoulder and I will be with another OC who should be good, granted a little bit more unproven in the NFL, of course, when compared to Kevin O'Connell. And the roster will most likely be not as good, but still some nice pieces there. They're definitely kind of trending in the right direction. But I don't know. It's a tricky situation and a tricky conversation to have in February right now. Like we are definitely officially in just speculation season. Hey, let's talk about Sam Darnold. What should the Minnesota Vikings do, and what does Sam Darnold want? It's there's just not enough information to say anything with such a strong conviction, honestly. And trying to make these predictions is so tough because I always hate if you like watch content, watch a video where they're like, Sam Darnold really needs to go to the Raiders. That's what they need. Sam Darnold, that's what I think he's going to do, yada, yada, yada. And then like the next day, it's like Sam Darnold signs $100 million contract, 3 years with the Minnesota Vikings. It's like, okay, well, that was a waste. So, I definitely prefer more to kind of wait and see, but, it just is what it is right now. You can't just wait and see all season, all off season, because then you're just doing nothing. But I am curious because I'll ask this question, even though I'm pretty sure I know the answer based off of previous conversations that I had. But what do you guys want? Especially the Minnesota Vikings fans. Like, do you think they should want Sam Darnold back? It seems to me most Vikings fans that I've spoken with in the comment section all want to move on from Sam Darnold and want to start the JJ McCarthy party. I think it has pros and cons, as I've established. But I'm, curious where you guys all sit right now, especially after maybe some of the sting of the end of last season has worn out a little bit, if at all. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.